All right, this is a semi-quick video. It's just a brief overview because I know it's been a long time since I've posted any updates, since I've made any videos is what's been going on with the Bentley, which I've been working very hard at, and it's just amazing how involved this project is and what a life of its own it has. So here you're seeing some of the photos on my workbench. This is just a smattering out of the close to 3,000 photos that I shot of the car, various parts. This is the car. Here we've got hood panels, which were done quite a while ago. These are electroformed, and they're just tacked together, which I use for adjusting and shaping as I get the body in place, put the radiator shell, etc. And here we've got where the overall car is in terms of the main car. The frame is completely done. The only thing that's missing are some little bolt detailings, and of course, brake levers, outside hand brake, steering arm, things like that. That'll be put on, but it's all a process as to what you do first. Anyway, you see the body is all completely shaped, is ready, is fitted. Everything is done with that. Doors are cut out, as you saw, which was one of the first things I did ages ago. This is the door for the fits on the on the driver's side, and the other two are the doors on the other side. On the left side, that would be. We finally got it figured where exact length of the body, heights are all set, radiator shell is made, and that's bronze casting, and it is platinum plated and polished. Here we've got lower side panels. These are what go underneath the louvered panels of the for the engine bay, and they're of course left and right specific. That's the cutout for the steering arm there. I did a short update on where the bases of the hood latches are going. I'm going to spin this around a little bit so you can see all of what's there. This is just an incredibly evolved piece. And remember, this is completely scratch built. Nothing is stock about. The only thing that were stock were materials and little miniature bolt heads and detailing bits like that. Everything's been made for this, including tires, wheels, etc., etc. Here we've got the left side lower panel that goes where the bottom of the hood's going to match up to. It is keyed and it is fitted just the way that the right side one is. And of course, the right side is different than the left side with door openings, etc. Here I've been playing around with what you're going to see. Whoops, that was my pointer pen I haven't used. But we've got all these little cutouts, and those are for a fabric banding that's going to go in there. And this was just a test that I did. So the opening's not quite the right size, but it was a test for me to see if the material and the way I was thinking about doing it was going to work, and it does. So that will be there, and you'll see. Let me just sit back to one of the photos. This is the banding. It's the fabric that I was talking about. So that's going to be stitched into place, so to speak. On the lower panels, it'll be on the firewall. It'll also be on the radiator shelf. So step at a time. But anyway, that was to make sure it would work. So they're all ready. In fact, these parts are just about ready to be painted, which is going to be one of the things next. I don't know if I've shown anything before on the gas tank or petrol tank, but that is complete. And again, very involved, lots of photos. I don't know, I may have done some videos before that probably weren't done and edited yet. And you see, it's very complex piece. Probably the most complex piece on the entire model is the fuel tank, for a host of reasons. I could go in and tell you about it, but by the time I was done talking, you'd probably be asleep. And I don't know if we've shown it before, but some of the inner areas of the frame and the brakes, some of the undercarriage, a lot of it will be able to be seen when the model is done. Areas that won't be, I don't pay much attention to, because why spend the time on something that you're not going to see? So, and now we're going to move over to the engine, so we are here now at the engines and other parts. Before I go to the engine, actually, I want to show something behind that. You see the fenders, left and right specific. They're set for each corner. They just have to be polished. They're painted, but they have to be polished, which they will be. And now we've got the engine, which is a good portion is done. The exhaust headers, which I'll show you in a moment, are completed and ready to be fitted, but they can't go on until I've got the spark plug wires laced and attached, etc. So again, it's this process. distributor is on, and all the cables, all the wiring for that is set in place because it will end up going behind a number of components. We've got the starter down below here. That's all set. We have a magneto, which you'll see that I'm going to show you that is complete. It's 100% complete, ready to mount, but it doesn't go on until after I've done spark plug wires and some other components. We have the carburetor mounts also that are all set to go on over there. The front end with the water pump, that's all done. Here there'll be hoses that will connect to that. Oh, let me show you one other thing on this side too. There's a whole setup for the oil pipe. And again, everything is a step-by-step as to what goes on when. So the oil pipe is pretty much done, fitted, simulated welds are on it. It's going to go on over there. And then there are bits and there are linkages for it. There's a linkage component that's here. And that's all set and ready to be painted. That gets fitted in. That goes in back. There's a bell top housing. There are other little fittings. There's a cap end for that. So it's very, very far along. But that sits and waits now until we get a few other things done. Again, it's step by step. I had to do the hood latches and some other areas. So it gets very confusing as I'm saying it, but also for me, bouncing back and forth in the way that I have to go to make the different parts and have everything fit, and as it locks into place. Think of it as an incredibly complex puzzle. Now we're just going to shift over to the other side of the one of the other workbenches in here. And here you get to see me. Hi, everybody. Somewhere I'm in here. I don't know where, with me with my blue gloves and bad hair. Okay, and now we go into some of the parts that are made. I told you about the carburetor mounts. That's all set, but that doesn't go on again until after I've got the spark plug wires in place. So a lot of things are preset, pre-fitted, all made. Headlights, which came out beautifully. Those are all done with simulated bulbs and bases inside. And again, they're left and right specific. They're ready for their simulated wires that are going to go behind them. One of them, of course, gets the white markings. So those are ready to go. I think I mentioned the magneto, which I love. This is a great piece. Boy, this was something else to do. So that's in there. I think I did a part scan as to how many parts. Let's just say that it's a hell of a lot of parts in there. That's going to go on the left side of the engine once we get some other things done. The exhaust headers, and again, they are specific to front and rear, but the exhaust headers are ready to go, but they go on after other things that go underneath and around them are in place, so that we don't have any problems with getting them on or fitting, and the same that I don't have any problems with getting the other wires and cables on, etc., etc. And that is pretty much it. I mean, there are hundreds of other parts, detail pieces that have been made and that are getting fitted and get attached and used as we go along. But it's a step by step, and I know I've probably said that ad nauseum.